Fitz Koehler. What a great conversation with Fitz. Fascinating what she has done. The fitness show. She's a strength trainer. She's helps people lose weight. Her book, Supercharged, which is her fifth. She's got a podcast as well. I opened up with kind of a comical introduction. I did see a post with her about people wearing pajamas in airports. But we go on and we talk about exercise, the importance. She's got 4 pillars of exercise and health. And she has a transition where she lost 40 pounds as well and was very ill for almost 2 years with cancer and how she was able to deal with that as well. But just her rebound, her energy, the America's noisiest and bossiest fitness expert, which is very true and is an absolute delight talking to you. Thank you, Fitz. And thank you for watching and listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because I was working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word, discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission? How do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Fantastic, Fitz Koehler. So excited to talk to you. Do pajamas belong in airports?
Obviously not. Good.
How obvious is that?
Who needs to say these things? Right? Why do we even have to say those things?
I see them all over.
I know. I guess if you just don't care, if you've given up on life, and you have no interest in impressing anyone at any time, wear that and a shower cap and Crocs, right?
Do you think that's what it's come down to? They're just not trying to impress?
It's self-esteem, dignity, lacking. Don't you think?
It's not my particular style, but I'm not that generation.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we all need to be in suits and high heels and stuff like that, but I'm an exercise expert. I try very hard not to wear exercise clothes unless I'm exercising or being physically active. That's the appropriate time to wear exercise clothes.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza-MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza Dash platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. So what's it like, Fitz, to be the noisiest and bossiest fitness expert?
That's awesome. You know, what's interesting is I am noisy on behalf of the people that I care about, which is everybody, right? Mass amounts of people. I'm noisy. I am bossy because I care about them and I want them to do better and be better. And so I make a lot of noise and I'm not, I don't hold back. I think there's a lot of people who do hold back. Maybe it's just not in their nature, but I feel like I'd be doing folks a disservice if I bit my tongue and I didn't tell people the truth. So yeah, and I'm highly effective because of those things. I mean, obviously the science background and the degrees and all of those things, but yeah, when people come and say, thank you for helping me see the light. Thank you for bullying me into doing the right thing. Thank you for your brutal honesty. That allows me to know I'm on the right track.
Give me an example of somebody that you have to get brutally honest with. Like, paint the scenario.
Oh, this is great. I was a guest on a podcast called The Author Next Door a few weeks ago, hosted by two lovely women. And one of them, mid podcast, we were talking about writing books, and maybe I was giving some advice for people who are at a computer a whole bunch, and uh, guiding them on getting up frequently and don't just remain a sedentary person. So she started using me as her personal trainer, started giving me the feedback. She says, well, I've gained 40 pounds because I've been through menopause, and I this, and I have a job, and so forth. And I said, do you want the truth? She said, yeah. I said, that's all excuses. You're just lying to yourself. Lots of people have jobs and have super healthy bodies. Lots of women go through menopause and are still super lean and strong and athletic. This is just you making excuses for your lack of effort. And, you can keep making excuses and be miserable in the body you're living in, or you can do better. And so I have an online training group. It's in Facebook. It's called the Hottie Body Fitness Challenge. And the Hottie Body thing is there's a long story to that. But anyways, it's just regular people. And she popped up yesterday. She joined the group and she posted a photo and said, thank you, Fitz, for kicking my ass during our podcast. She said, you resonated and I'm ready to get to work. So, I mean, that's kind of how it is. People, they may not like me while I'm saying it. I don't care. I'm not out to be loved. I'm out to change people.
When you ask somebody, do you want the truth? Do you think that they do, even though they say they do?
Well, I don't care if they do. If they tell me they want the truth, I'm going to give it to them. If they don't want it, they can, they can always ignore me. Here's the thing. I call those people ask holes, ASK holes. They ask for advice. They say, okay, you have all the credentials, all the experience. You know how to conquer the task that I'm trying to conquer. How do I do it? And I tell them, and then they just go along, either completely ignore the advice or they go do dumb things like diets and powders and all the snake oil. And, that's really up to them. I'm motivated enough to repeat myself until I'm blue in the face. And some people take advantage of that willingness, and they use the information and they accomplish everything they ever wanted to, right? And they become a better person and life feels good and they love their body and their minds. And then some people they'll ask and they're never really willing to put in the work, but that's on them. That's not on me.
Some people have to hit rock bottom. Some people have to, get somebody in their life that kind of makes them pivot. Now, you lost like 35 or 40 pounds, I believe. What made you change?
Yeah, so I am 40 something pounds lighter than I was, I'd say, my senior year of high school, freshman year of college. I mean, along the way, I was a very sporty kid. I taught fitness starting at 14. I started teaching group fitness classes. I just didn't know how. The information wasn't available to me. And so, I thought fewer Cheetos, which was definitely a good idea, right? But I drank a whole lot of beer. I was a scrappy kid from Fort Lauderdale. I just had all these bad habits that were taught to me by my family. And bless my mom, she tried really hard. She provided what she thought was this American diet. It was always steak and potatoes, and there was fruit on the counter, but there was also as much soda as we wanted, regular full calorie sugar soda and candy, and it was just so much. And I didn't know any better. And then so when I was in grad school, I had started losing a little bit of weight by changing my eating habits a little bit. But then, I hit a place where I thought, gosh, I've maxed out on information I can learn in fitness. And I'm a information junkie. I want more. I always want to learn. And I truly felt like within the fitness industry, I couldn't find any more to learn. So I started reading cardiac journals and physical therapy journals and just going deeper into health and human performance. And I remember picking up a journal and it said, on average, humans burn approximately 10 calories per pound of body weight per day. And I said, it can't be that simple. And so I went back and I reread it and I thought, gosh, it can't be that simple. So I call that the exact formula for weight loss. It's something that I published as articles and podcasts in the past. My new book is called You Supercharged, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity. But it's that weight loss part that is ding, 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 so powerful. Because I would say if I had 1 million people in an audience and I said, who wants to lose between 1 and 1,000 pounds, almost every hand would go up. So weight loss is on the mind of most folks. And so the formula says that if you weigh 150 pounds and you are staying there, you're probably consuming 1,500 calories, right? It's that take your weight, put a 0 on the end. That's probably the amount of calories it takes to sustain the body that you have right now. If you would like to gain weight, you consume more than 1,500 calories. If you would like to lose weight, you consume less than 1,500 calories. And you can actually program your body to weigh a certain amount. So if you weigh 200 right now and you'd like to weigh 173, 1,730 is your caloric budget for the day, for every day. And if you do that, your body will have no choice but to shrink down to that size. And if you want to stay there, you stick with a budget. And we're not even talking nutrition. We're not talking about what foods you should and shouldn't have. It's just that caloric budget works. And so that's how I took all the excess weight off and I kept it off. And man, the beauty of being at my ideal weight is not only the fact that I feel like I look the way I want to look, but my body performs great. It feels fantastic. But when I was overweight, gosh, I thought so much about my body. I thought so much about my hips and my stomach and all these parts I didn't love. And I never think about that. Achieving my ideal weight and staying here has freed up so much mental space for me to focus on my dogs and my family and the country and anything else that's of interest to me. I never think about my thighs, which is pretty cool.
Was there a particular moment that made you make that change to lose the weight, or was it just kind of a gradual thing?
It was just a knowledge. It's one of those things where I think when you know better, you should do better. And I am that person. When I know better, I do better. And so I had, even as a teenager, I was never rotund. I was never obese, but I was carrying around extra 40 pounds. I'm 5'5" for crying out loud. That's too much. And I really wanted to lose weight. And so finally I had a solution staring me in the face. So I'm sure there's probably many of your listeners that might want to lose weight and they're hearing this possibly for the first time. Know this: if you take the formula and you use it, you will have success. If you listen to what I'm saying and you're nodding your head saying, yeah, that kind of makes sense, and you choose not to use this information, that's on you. When you know better, you should do better. And I'm teaching you right now how to get to the weight you want to be. You should do it. I highly recommend.
Is it important to get healthy first before losing weight?
I got to, can I say it? That's a ridiculous question because
Okay.
losing weight is getting healthier. When you're overweight, you're putting so much stress on your spinal column, on the discs between the vertebrae, on each joint, on your heart, on your lungs, on your circulatory system. Everything in your body has to work harder when you're overweight. So yeah, I mean, losing weight is getting healthy. Now, you could lose weight the wrong way. You could lose weight doing chemo, which I've done before. I don't recommend. You could lose weight on drugs. You could lose weight being a prisoner of war. That doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. However, if you lose weight because you're changing your eating habits for the better, you're consuming fewer calories, you're choosing more nutritious food, and you are exercising, then yeah, I mean, you do it together. It's like saying, I've had some cavities lately. I'm not going to floss my teeth until I get them healthy with brushing. No, they go hand in hand, right? But if you brush, that's better for your teeth. If you floss, it's better for your teeth. And if you're all in on your teeth, you brush and floss. I want people to be all in on their body.
Is skinny fat a thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really unhealthy, thin people who have high body fat percentages. Absolutely.
So that's why I asked the question. Do you have to get healthy before you lose weight? Because
not before, you do it together. It's like saying, I'm not going to floss my teeth until I make them perfectly clean. No, you have to do both. You do both.
That's an interesting thing because when I hear, I have friends, I have colleagues who say, I got to lose weight. but you can just tell they're very unhealthy. I mean,
Right.
by their diet choices, by what they inactivity, etc. But I guess losing weight. Well, I don't guess. I mean, there's a physical adjustment that gets rewarded right away, whereas healthy, it may not feel it right away.
Well, let's talk about this. So the GLP-1, the Ozempic and Wegovy and those type of pills, those will take the weight off you. Now, if you're an obese person, losing that weight is great. You know, I look at
Yes.
someone who's obese as they're walking around with a gun to their head. They are in immediate harm's way. If you are in the obese category, know that you could die any moment and you should be terrified. You should be so freaking scared that you spring into action and start consuming produce, using the exact formula, and exercising. It is no joke. And diabetes and stroke. I mean, let's say you don't die. You just have a stroke and half your body doesn't work forever and ever. It's awful. So you can lose weight with those pills or shots, whatever they are. And that's a good thing to take so much weight off your body. However, you cannot have what I have because of those shots. You can weigh less, but that doesn't make you fit. That doesn't make you healthy. And so weighing less is important, but you should combine the two. You should start building up your immune system because you're eating more produce. You should make your digestive system more powerful because you're consuming more fiber. You should drink more water. Our major organs, all of them are the majority of them are water. It's like your brain is 89% water and then the rest is brain stuff. You know, if you don't have enough water, if you're not properly hydrated, your brain's not going to work. And so, yeah, you can lose weight with these shots, but you can't have a powerful immune system. You can have resiliency and strength and stamina and flexibility and balance, all the things that come with exercise. And so it's more than just being skinny. I mean, skinny's no prize. I think when I hear the word skinny, I think cancer, I think Holocaust. Not cool at all. Being lean, being trim, being lean is what I think. I'm a very lean person. I did have cancer and I lost a lot of weight during treatment and I was skinny and it was gross and it was awful. It was absolutely awful. So we don't aim for skinny. We aim for our healthy weight and fitness.
Are you a fan of BMI?
I mean, I don't like these basic charts. I don't really think they're the solution for most folks. I think that most people know their fighting weight. You know, I don't think if people come to me and say, "What should I weigh?" I was like, "That's up to you. That's not my call to make. You decide what you should weigh." I think most people know what weight they would be happiest at least within a reasonable range. If you're so confused and you don't know, fine, go talk to your physician. But I think body fat percentage is relevant, but I don't love BMI. I think it steers some people very wrong. Yeah, it doesn't accommodate for very muscular people, very fit people. I think Michael Jordan in his prime was considered to have too high a BMI, which makes no sense.
Body mass index is height divided by weight, right? So it doesn't factor in, right? Like I said, like body fat and things like that. You've got four pillars, Fitz, of
Yes,
fitness.
sir.
What are they?
Strength, flexibility, balance, and cardiovascular fitness. And without any one of those pillars, you are not fit.
And so when people are working out, I mean, how do you employ the pillars?
Yeah, just include a variety throughout your training, throughout your day, throughout your week. And so muscular strength, that's your ability to lift, press, push, pull against resistance. It's not just your biceps and your abs, it's your strength overall from your neck down to your ankles and your feet, and it's everything. Are you strong? Can you do the things you want to do, whether it's lifting groceries or carrying grandkids or climbing up a hill or whatever? Strength, total body strength. That's very important. Cardiovascular fitness, the power of your heart and lungs. I would say two of the top three most important organs. I mean, they all carry some pretty good weight, but without your heart and lungs, you're going to be in bad shape. Or even if they're weak, you know, who wants to suck wind because you climbed one flight of stairs? That's not good, right? So it's strength, cardiovascular fitness, flexibility. That is your body's ability to reach and twist and turn in all the directions it was designed to. Flexibility equals mobility. If you are tight, if you are inflexible, you are more likely to incur sprains, strains, and tears. You are more likely to feel bad, because nobody ever says things like, gosh, my back is so tight, and means it in a positive way. So flexibility matters, and people should go through their full range of motion. They forget our shoulder girdle, for example, goes through like a 360-degree loop. Most people aren't putting their arms and their shoulder joint through that loop every day. You should move your hip and rotate it in, rotate your knee in, and rotate it out. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on my words, but yeah, moving your body in the way it was designed to move will increase the chances that you can continue moving your body in the way it was designed to move. And of course, balance training is paramount, and that's the pillar that most people ignore. They don't even know they should be working it. Balance training is important so you don't fall down. And if you fall down as a little kid, you bounce pretty easily. If you fall down as a grown-up, very likely to break stuff, concussions, black eyes, humiliation. And of course, in our senior population, falls often lead to imminent death, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. And your book, so you Supercharged. What do you want people to walk away with?
I want them to understand everything they need to know to create a healthy body. This book is so thorough. It's the blueprint for getting fit, no matter what your age, no matter what your gender, no matter what your fitness status is at the moment. This book makes it all crystal clear, and it answers all the questions, gives you step-by-step guidance, and it also has over 300 photos. So the photos are how to strength train, stretch, and do balance training. If you're an able-bodied person in decent shape, here's how to do the basic stuff on your feet or on a bench or on a Bossy. I apologize. Go out. I apologize.
No problem.
And then if you can't stand, then there's dozens of exercises of how to exercise. All right, out you go. Go. I'm so sorry. I have a puppy, which is, I have to make the choice. Kick them out and have them whine to get in, or risk the occasional bark. I apologize, everybody. But yeah, so there's tons of exercises, how to exercise in a chair, and then also how to exercise in bed, how to stretch in the shower. It's got everything. We talk about motivation versus discipline, how to exercise at home, at the gym, at the office, on vacation. There's a whole chapter called Why Your Excuses Are Lame. There's a chapter dedicated to men's health, one to women's health, one on raising a fit family, and one on aging like a badass. So it's all the things, all the answers. And I haven't had any of my readers report back that they were dissatisfied with the content yet.
What's your process of writing, Fitz? Do you storyboard? Do you write in the morning?
I write, most of my books have been written on airplanes. So I travel a lot as a keynote speaker and a race announcer. So, and I tend to write my soapbox issues first. The things I'm most excited about, I get those out. And then after I've put that information, pen to paper, it's not really pen to paper anymore. But once I have that content written, then I kind of make a series. Okay, this is the chapters I want, and where are the gaps? And then I start writing things that I want you to know, but maybe that I was less excited about. Writing, for example, the exact formula for weight loss. That's chapter number 1, because that's the one that I think most people would want to know right away. Like, that's the solution the majority of people are looking to have solved.
You mentioned race announcer. Elaborate.
Yes. So I am the voice. I host many of the largest, most iconic road races, running events in America. From my events have included Big Sur Marathon, Philadelphia Marathon, Detroit Free Press Marathon, Gasparilla, you name it, Fargo Marathon, OC Marathon. So I am the voice at a start line. As runners arrive, I have great music playing and I'm getting them engaged, informed, entertained. I whip them into a frenzy eventually and I yell go, and they all leave to go cover their distance. And then I move over to the finish line where technology allows me to welcome most athletes by name. And, as a fitness pro, I do a lot of arm twisting, trying to convince people that exercise is a great idea. On a race weekend, usually a race organization says, Fitz, here's 20, 30,000 people that want to exercise. Can you make sure they know what to do, know where to go, and have a great time? And so I do anything / everything I can to make all of our athletes feel welcome and wanted, proud, congratulated. I make sure they have the most fun they've ever had doing any exercise ever. And that increases the chance not only that they'll come back to this race, but that they'll just continue exercising. I want them to chase the high that I gave them. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, good for you. Sounds great.
So good. So good.
I'm here. I believe you're up in Gainesville. I'm in Tampa, and they have that Gasparilla race for it. And I know I've been there. I haven't run it, but there's a good chance I would have seen you there.
Yep. Yep. And that's one of the highlights of my year. I mean, they give me, I think it's almost 30,000 athletes, 4 different races. And it's organized chaos and so much fun. And our athletes are so pumped up. They're easy for me to pump up. They get really silly, really fast. And there's so much joy at the finish line. It's just, what a blessing. And then, of course, I get to wear all the pirate gear, which I love. So.
Yeah. You've coached so many people,
Yeah.
millions. And so what separates the people who actually want to make the change and those that don't?
Discipline. Certainly it's discipline, because I would say everybody wants to be better. Everybody wants to feel good. Everyone wants to look great. Everybody wants their body to do the things that are fun to them, whether it's dancing or golfing or fishing, whatever, or maybe just walking around the grocery store without pain. And I believe that most people know how, so I do have a master's degree in exercise sports sciences. I do say I have a master's in the most simple, stupid science in the world. It's watch what you put in your mouth, move your body, sleep well. People know the difference between healthy and unhealthy food. They may pretend they're confused. Don't ever buy anything with the word diet on the outside. Let's start there. But you could go to the produce department. You can go get yourself a chicken breast. You could get yourself some beans and seeds. All that stuff is healthy. So I don't really need to twist your arm on that. People know that. They know that push-ups or walking or dancing, all of that stuff is good for them. They know it already. They're just not doing it. And I know they want the results. Everybody wants the results. Everyone wants to look better, feel better. So it's discipline. Motivation wanes. People say, oh, I've got a reunion coming up. I'm going to get in great shape, or the beach weekend, or whatever's going on. And then they might do the right thing for a little while, and then eventually they stop. And that's because they are not disciplined. Getting wonderful things is not often easy. Ask Tom Brady. He didn't become a superstar quarterback when he got to Michigan. He did not. That was the end of his career there. When he joined the NFL, he wasn't a first round draft. He's a guy who took a while. And then once he achieved his first Super Bowl victory, he didn't settle. He stayed the course. That's called discipline. And now he's in his mid to late 40s. He's still in rock star shape. And here's the deal. He's not superhuman. And people give me a lot of credit. They're like, well, you're unique. I'm not. There's no Marvel in me. I haven't been bitten by a radioactive spider. Neither has Tom. Neither has any of your other fit, healthy friends. We're just willing to put in the time and effort on a regular basis because we like the rewards and we want to live long and we want to live well. Discipline.
Fantastic theme. So you mentioned cancer before. You went through 15 months of treatment, Fitz. Tell me what that was like, and how did you stay motivated?
Yeah, so it was hellacious and it was stressful and scary, and I was sick the entire time, like wildly, devastatingly sick. That was the worst part for me. I also had radiation. I had 33. So it was 15 months of chemo, 33 rounds of radiation, some surgery. Surgery was tough, but it was, I started recovering pretty quickly. radiation. I didn't have horrific burns. I had some, but it was the chemo that really whacked me hard. And I wanted certain things more than I was willing to let the sickness win. And so before I started treatment, I decided, put my foot down. I was not going to let cancer treatment stand in the way of quality time with my kids. My Ginger and Parker were 13 and 15 at the time. So I decided if they had a show or a ceremony or a sporting event, I was going to be there. And then I was not going to let cancer treatment steal my career. And so it's often people get diagnosed and their loved ones say, oh my God, you need to stay home. You need to hide out. You might get germs. All right. Well, these people are fighting for their lives. So the last thing you want to do is give up all the good things in your life because you have cancer, right? I could have managed a cold. Fine. And in fact, they've got some pretty good drugs to help you with a cold if you've got cancer. So I decided, even when I was sick, which was all the time, that I was going to get on those planes and go. And it was the best thing ever. It was hard. It was very hard. Traveling with, let's say it's like traveling with food poisoning or traveling with a big old stomach bug. That was my fate. It was very, very hard. However, when I would get to wherever I was going, I would often sleep on the hotel bathroom floors, and then I'd wake up and I'd drag my sick body over to the stage. And then the second I stood on my stages, every single thing that was wrong with me disappeared. I wasn't sick. I wasn't suffering. I wasn't exhausted. I was laser focused on the wonderful people in front of me. And that's the great gift about being so passionate about what you do and the people you're doing it for, right? So if I had stayed home during cancer care, all I would have been was sick. All I would have been was a sick person. And how freaking miserable is that? Because I tell you, it was hard enough. But having these passions, this purpose, it was so rewarding. Now, mind you, all the minutes surrounding my time on those stages were hard, but that's okay. Life can be hard. We can do hard things. I've failed a lot in my history. I was kicked off of sports teams, or I didn't win an election, or there's a lot of things in life that are hard. Big deal. Do them anyways. If they lead to an end result, suck it up, soldier, and make whatever you want to happen. And so that was very important. Kept perspective. I was lucky I wasn't a kid with cancer, and so I tried to keep my chin up. And then I continued to exercise. I was not able to do the things I had done pre-treatment. I was a very fit person, and then I lost a ton of weight, a ton of strength. But I did the things that I talk about in my books. I have a cancer comeback series books. I did leg lifts in bed. I stretched in the shower. I went for little walks when I could. I got a lot of fresh air. I focused on nutrition, even when my stomach was a mess. So yeah, I made choices and I stuck with them.
How long ago was that, Fitz?
I finished treatment in May of 2020. So almost 6 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Is there a question that you wished more people asked you?
I like talking about mental health. I mean, I'm no psychiatrist or counselor, and I think people should use those tools if necessary. But I think a lot of our joy and depression is self-inflicted, and so I think we can control a lot of things. I think perspective, as I just mentioned, you start thinking about the kids in the hospital with cancer, and you're like, oh, whatever I'm dealing with really isn't so bad. Is this traffic jam worth getting all upset about? Is red wine on the white carpet such a travesty when there's children enduring chemo? I don't know about that, so I think perspective goes a long way. And then just having these great outlets, for everyone, I recommend choosing 5 things that you love, 5 things that make you happy. And so for me, it's exercise, it's fresh air, it's animals, it's my kids, and music, happy music. And so if I wake up and I have the blues, whether there's a good reason behind it or not, sometimes people just wake up with the blues, and I'm no different. I instantly throw myself a lifeline. I don't just sit there. I never bask in it. I don't play sad music and just, bask in the misery. I try to rescue myself immediately from those blues. I go outside. Boom, that's easy. Fresh air. It usually works for it's a good outlet for many people. I play with my dogs. I exercise, and then that serotonin, the endorphins start kicking in, and maybe I feel a little less sad. Am I distracted? Can I have a conversation with a friend? Just chatting with one of my girlfriends about anything is likely to lighten my mood. So people should have a list of 5 things. And then when they're depressed or they're feeling anxious or they wake up with the blues for no reason, they should go boom, boom, boom. Maybe one of their items on their list will cure their blues, turn that frown upside down, or maybe they need to go 3, 4, 5 deep into their list. But we should be proactive also on behalf of our mental health.
I've never heard that before. Pick 5 things to kind of rescue like that. It's a really good idea that it's concrete, it's succinct.
Yeah, and it's personalized to each person. I mean, my things may not be your things,
Right, of
right?
course.
So, and then so many people just feel like they're helpless. Oh, I'm helpless. I'm anxious. I just need to take a pill. Maybe you do need to take a pill, or maybe you just need to pick up your guitar and play and go look at the ocean, or I don't know, whatever works for you, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we could do a lot more to control not only our physical outcomes but our mental outcomes too. We can choose better days. Become a bright sider. That's actually a chapter in the book, is becoming a bright sider.
It occurs to me, Fitz, the art versus science question. How often or do you involve your gut in making decisions? I see you have a master's degree. You talk about calorie intake,
Yeah.
etc. But you also love music and speaking and things like this. So how often do you involve your gut in decision making?
So I am very science based. I am
Yeah.
very nonfiction. There's that side of me. I don't know how good I am with the other creative things, but I'm learning to trust my gut. When it comes to my brand, that's very important. And when it comes to working with people, or yeah, I mean, quite often it's a people thing. It's very interesting. I've worked with such wonderful people, and when I got into the running industry, when I started race announcing in 2014, I really felt like the running industry, it was all puppies and rainbows. Everybody loved exercise. They wanted to get people outdoors. It was so wonderful. And then some of the people I work with got pretty mean. I get mean girled a lot, and so
Really?
oh yeah, I get mean girled a lot. And I've actually been mean guyed quite a few times. And so right now I make choices based on, is it worth it? Yeah, they're going to pay me a whole bunch of money. I'm not cheap, but I won't allow myself to be treated that way. And I think those are gut style decisions. I think with maturity and this being established, you just pick and choose things that are and aren't worth my energy. Am I willing to put myself in the line of fire for someone to be hostile? I don't want to do it anymore.
Has there been something you firmly believed in, Fitz, 10 years ago that you no longer believe?
Hmm. Yeah, I used to think I was bad at business
Why?
because I was chicken in regards to talking about money. Money was really uncomfortable to me. And so I would undervalue my services, my time, my energy, and uh, maturity changes all of that, right? I
Yeah.
understand the tremendous value. If a corporation brings me in, it's not about the 45 minutes or 60 minutes I'm on a stage to do a keynote. It's about the aftermath.
Hmm.
Can I change that audience, make them more energetic? Can I get them to call in sick less often? If they exercise more often, they're going to be more creative. They're going to increase the profitability of that organization dramatically. And so, what is the value worth? It's significant. It is significant. And so I used to think I was bad at business, and I probably was back at the time. But now I feel like I'm really good at business, and I always provide a win win scenario. And I never leave a stage without, I would say, the great majority of the room being fairly ecstatic with their experience. And I've learned that I'm worth my weight and I should ask for it.
Hmm.
More
That's a big
people should
win.
have that confidence. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Fitz, I started my business back in the 90s and I was working, 12, 14-hour days. You're no stranger to this. And I was in my 20s and like I say, starting a business and putting exercise, nutrition in the back seat and
Yeah.
just working all the time. And next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor and she tells me I'm at 340 pounds. So I had gained
Whoa.
yeah, I'd gained all this terrible amount of weight. I knew I was getting bigger, but I didn't know I was that big. And she proceeds to tell me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. So my daughter was just born. So I'm driving home, pissed off, right? She wanted to motivate me, but it angered me. And I'm punching the steering wheel. This is my pie hole. I did this to myself. I have to look beyond myself here, Fitz. I have this family now. I have this beautiful, beautiful girl that somehow I have some responsibility in bringing into this world. I've got to make a change. So the next 6, 7 months, lost about 120 pounds. And I
Spectacular.
and I kept it off. You have to look at too many people, this better than I, look at losing weight as the finishing line, right? They went through the
Yeah.
line. Okay, now I can go back. These are lifelong changes you have to make, right? So
Yeah.
when people, I tell the story first, well, how'd you do it? What's your secret? There's no secret. And you've alluded to this many, many times in our conversation. I say, look, there's no secret, just discipline, right? Motivation, just like you said, motivation, routine, focus, willpower. I put all under the discipline umbrella. So, how does discipline then and now play a role in your life, Fitz Koehler?
Well, and congratulations to you, and a big high five to your physician for telling you the truth. I find too many physicians are
Mm,
afraid to talk to people and tell them the reality
mm,
of their situation, and because of that, we have morbidly obese people walking out of a doctor saying, "Well, the doc said my blood works good.
right.
I'm good to go." No, you're not. You have a
Good
gun to your
point.
head.
Yeah,
Stop. Right. So, high five to that doctor.
good
Send
point.
her a little note and say, "Hey, thanks for
Mm,
changing my life so many years ago." Um, your question was, how do we maintain
discipline.
it? I
How
think
do
at some,
yeah.
go on.
How does discipline
I,
play a role in your life?
yeah, it becomes about having higher standards. It becomes about having higher standards. Am I willing to sacrifice who I am for whatever? The answer is no. The answer is no. I love being fit. I love having energy. I love sleeping well. I love having a smile on my face, even
Mm,
when people are mean girling me. I love this life. And there's not too many people who walk around just thinking, damn it, this is good, right? I know what it's like to feel bad. I felt really horrible for a long time. And so the efforts I make when it comes to fitness and nutrition and sleep and mental health, it's because I deserve better. I want more for myself. And there are zero people on earth that can give it to me. There's nobody who can rescue me from hardship. There is no doctor, no lawyer, nobody who can rescue me for the things that are important in my life. I have to do them. And it's that accountability that will keep me fit forever. Now, when I first lost a ton of weight, I used to be a competitive kickboxer, and I know,
hmm.
surprise, I fought in a ring. In my very first fight, I think I weighed 133 pounds, and my trainer called and they said, "We finally found a girl who's willing to fight you." And I had zero fights, so they found another female with zero fights, but she weighed 114, which means I could not weigh any more than 117 pounds in order to get in the ring with her. And that event was 8 days away. And so I thought, okay, I have to lose 16 pounds in 8 days. No problem. My trainer was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." And so at that point, losing weight was super easy because it was just about getting to something that was fun, exciting. It wasn't about, oh, I'm losing weight because I hate my thighs. It was, holy cow, I finally get to get in the ring and kick someone in the head. Let's get it on. So I do. I made the weight. And also, I remember my jeans falling off. My size 5 jeans just hitting the floor when I buttoned them up. And I thought, oh, and I really just liked my body. I was finally at a size that I loved. And
Hmm.
so when the fight was over, we went to a sports bar. All the fighters and their trainers and families were invited to this sports bar for an after party. And we get in there and there's a big spread. It's chicken wings and burgers and French fries and cheese sticks and stuff, all the yummies. And as you can imagine, I was pretty freaking hungry. Losing 16 pounds in 8 days is not an easy task. So I walk in and I looked at all the food and I thought, But then I looked down at my body and I thought, I am not giving this up. I am finally at a shape and size that I would like to stay at forever. And so I took the credit card out of my purse and I went and bought a salad. And so that was it for me. It's just, I now have this newer, higher standard. I wasn't willing to step back. And that's what people need to do. They just need to say, like, whatever I am right now, here's what I love about myself. Always start with the positive, because even if you're overweight, there's great things. You might be a wonderful, generous person. Maybe you have sparkly eyes or strong biceps, whatever. Make a list of things you love about yourself. But then get real about the things that are not living up to par and things that you would like to change. And then let me help you change them. If it's exercise, nutrition, sleep, mental health, those are things I can help you with. I can be your trusted expert that pulls no punches, tells you the truth, gives you science-backed information, and you use it. And if you need to go elsewhere after that, fine. But yeah, have higher standards. Don't settle. Ew for settling, right?
So as a child, I heard you say as a child, you were fed well, a lot of potatoes, a lot of meat, Irish, right? Southeast Florida.
Very Irish.
Yeah. And was discipline instilled in the household? Was it just assumed? Was it talked about?
I gotta tell you, I would say no. I would say no. I mean, we weren't willy-nilly. My parents, my mother, she did most of the child rearing, right? So she taught us manners. We all had very good manners. We were sporty. I was never excellent at sports. My siblings were. But when it came to eating, there wasn't a lot of discipline. I don't know. If it was never discussed. I tell you that there was never a push for excellence outside of sports. Academically, there was no push for excellence. I was in the gifted program, so I think my mom was like, "Oh, she's so smart," but my grades were highly mediocre, and it's just I certainly could have earned straight A's probably every year of grade school, and I wasn't encouraged to, and there was no insistence upon it. So yeah, I don't know if discipline or excellence were high on the agenda when I was a kid.
And why do you think you strive for it now?
Because I'm excited about life. I'm excited about my career. I'm excited about health. I want more for myself. I remember when I was overweight, looking at other people thinking, gosh, I would like to be more like that. Yeah. And now nothing I do is based around other people. Everything is based on what I want. But when you're younger and unaccomplished, then you probably do have to look elsewhere for inspiration. And I was guilty of that. But right now, gosh, I just know exactly what I want. There are no questions in my head.
Do you meditate or journal, Fitz?
No. I do not. I do not do things that are slow going. Now, mind you, I am the author of the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. And it actually would have been great to have during my cancer care, which I didn't because I didn't create it then. But I have the inside of my head is very noisy. I do not enjoy quiet. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy being outside, but I need stimulation, whether it's music or a podcast or an audiobook or conversation. I do not enjoy, I wouldn't be good at meditation. In fact, I shun it. I shun meditation. Not my bag.
You're an extrovert?
Yes. But I do like to be alone. Yeah, one of those.
So after a big crowd, if you're speaking on stage, do you have to be alone and deflate, or do you mind going back into a crowd?
No, I'm good in the crowds. I feed off of people. I mean, you know how some people have a fear of public speaking? I have a great fear of somebody never inviting me to public speak again. The bigger the crowd for me is, the more comfortable I am, especially if I'm in charge of them. So if I'm at a party, I am not the ham. I do not make a spectacle out of myself. I am only the noisy person when I'm designated to be that person. And then when I'm not, I'm happy to let other people have the stage or whatever. But yeah, I just really thrive in massive crowds, doing the work that I do, whether it's speaking or announcing or anything of the sort. And then sometimes if I'm home for too long, I mean, I really enjoy, I come back to Gainesville, Florida. I get back in the humidity, which feels so wonderful. It's so good to go from wherever else. And then I fly into Gainesville, Florida, and the airport's all air conditioning. And when the doors open and the humidity hits me, it just, oh, I feel like a fish being thrown into water. But I enjoy the downtime. I try to remain as ugly as possible when I'm home because I try to look pretty when I'm on a stage. So when I'm not on a stage, I try to look really yucky. And then eventually, if I'm home for, let's say, 2 weeks or more, I'll wake up a little bit sad and I'll be confused. Why do I feel this way? And then it's because I haven't had a massive crowd to engage with. So I need it. I do need it. It's weird, but um, yeah, I like being alone, but I need the people.
What motivates you, Fitz?
1,000% driven to help as many people as possible live better and longer.
So impact.
Yeah, mass impact. It's not just impact, it's mass impact.
What's
I
the
want
difference?
everybody. Huh?
What's the difference? Mass impact and impact.
Well, here's the difference. Is when I was in college and I used to teach group fitness classes to 50 or 60 people. That was cool. And then halfway through college, I auditioned and I was cast on a TV show called Cardio Jam. So I was teaching group fitness exercises on television, and strangers started approaching me. So I had the normal folks, my peers and people who lived around me. They'd say, I saw your show and it was great. And then strangers started grabbing me and saying, are you Fitz? And I'd say, I am. I work out with you every day. And when you're not on, I record it. And I've lost 17 pounds. Thank you. Or strangers come up and say, my back no longer hurts. Thank you. And so that really, like, shoot that into my veins. My God, the ability to help strangers is so powerful. And so I know that if I'm on a stage with 100 people, I can only help 100 people. I don't know how big your audience is, but it's hopefully a good side. If I'm on national television, I can help millions, and I crave that. That is very satisfying to me. And so the message can often be the same, but how extensive is the reach? And I want the reach. I'm not shy about that, and I'm pretty good at connecting with huge amounts of people. So, more, please, always more.
So then, if it's impact, mass impact, how do you measure success?
Well, I got to tell you, I do measure success by the size of the crowd. The size of the crowd. Yeah, that's it. And also, know this: I will never be satisfied. I will die feeling a failure for not having reached some people, and that's just the way it's going to be for me. I will not retire or die thinking I did it. If there's one overweight person who shouldn't be, or one wimpy person with back pain they could have avoided, and I didn't help them, I will die a failure. However, leaving resources matters a lot to me. And so fitzness.com, my socials, there's tons of videos, my YouTube.
Podcasts.
I feel very good that there's all these resources. If people want to know how to get fit, I've put it out there. It's there and it's free and it's accessible. But this book, You Supercharged, as I was getting close to publishing it, I actually started thinking, please don't die before this thing gets out, because this is the masterpiece. This is the thing that puts it all out there for everybody. And I thought, gosh, if I can't get this thing over the finish line, my whole life will be a failure. So yeah, that's kind of where I go with it. Yeah, but it's motivating too. It doesn't make me sad. It makes me want more, and it makes me work hard. That's what I get up. That, you're a CEO, so something's got to motivate you. That's the thing that motivates me.
But dying as a failure because you weren't able to touch everybody, isn't that unrealistic?
Maybe.
Tell me about that. Yeah, you're comfortable with it, obviously.
Yeah, and it's not just America. I mean, and the other burden is now I have the Healthy Cancer Compact books. I feel the pressure. There aren't resources for cancer patients to weaponize exercise and nutrition. There is no other place other than the books I've written for cancer patients to go and learn how to navigate the treatment triathlon, chemo, radiation, surgery. So I'm okay at marketing. I'm not the best at marketing. So there's cancer patients right now going through treatment that don't know these resources exist. And the guilt I feel because they don't know they could be helping themselves, or people don't know they could buy their bestie with cancer this book or these books, makes me really, really frustrated. So I don't know. I'm just it motivates me. It motivates me to do better.
Yeah.
And I still am a happy person, but I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied. That's something I am accepting.
Has there been something over the last month that you changed your mind on?
Nothing that I can speak of. It's a great question, though.
Do you find yourself changing your mind often?
Yeah,
are you open
you
to
know
it?
what? I'm open to it. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things I'm so strong-willed about, and then I'm open to trying new foods and trying new places, and I'm open to being wrong. That's one of those things. Is I am so happy to say, "Whoops, you were right. I got it wrong." Or if I've hurt somebody, it's always unintentional. I'm never trying to hurt anybody, but I'm happy to apologize and promise to do better and then follow through. I think, yeah, I mean, life's not so serious. And I don't, God, what are the odds I'd be right about everything all the time? It's just impossible. So drop your stupid ego, learn how to say sorry. I'm good at saying sorry. I'm also, you know what? I tell so many people I love them, even people I just met. And I mean that. I mean, how could I want their health to be so great without loving them, right? So I tell a lot of people I love them, and I hold a lot of hands. On race day, I might hold the hand of 40-50% of our participants, even if we have 30,000. I mean, I'm just out there loving on them. And I know who doesn't want me to touch them, and I don't. But the rest, I'm a little gropey about it, but I don't feel bad about it. How many people need to hear it? I love you. Right?
I can't hurt.
Probably not. Probably not. I'm sure some wife will come over and pop me in the nose one day and say, "Stop telling my husband you love him." But whatever.
Right. Yeah. I remember years ago, 20 years ago, when my sister passed, we all made it a point, the family, to say, the last thing we say before we hang up or leave is, "I love you," because it might be the last thing we say.
Yeah.
She passed away in a car accident, so we weren't able to say,
gosh.
so we weren't able to say it. So that kind of, you make a shift that way. And how can it possibly hurt? If people get upset, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I think anyone who's paying attention to who I am and what I do, they get it. They get it. They're like, "Oh, she's just handsy and sweet." I think I'm sweet. I mean, I'm also very bossy. We started there.
Yes, and noisy.
That's where we start. I'm bossy. I'm noisy, but I get away with it. This is really the key factor. I get away with all of that because people know I love them. If I were just a jerk along with bossy and noisy, it wouldn't be so well accepted. But I genuinely love people, and so they seem to take it as such.
I'm from the Northeast, so people can be bossy and noisy and still be kind. People perhaps think those are opposites, but it's not the case. Some can, some can't. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it interesting what we become culturally accepted to, the different tones and so forth? There's a Chinese restaurant near my home that I go and I get like steamed veggies all the time. And man, it sounds like they hate each other in there. The way they talk is very aggressive, and it sounds like they're fighting, but they're not. They got smiles on their faces. So I think, okay, they're just, that's how they talk.
Yeah, the German language is like that too. And Italians speak loudly, but you could just tell that, just because their faces and, and their gestures and everything, it's there. I love what you're doing, Fitz. I mean, people, obesity and overweight, last statistic I heard was like 70% here in the States. It's so terrible. And people need to understand what they need to do, but they need to do it. I mean, I had to have a major occurrence happen in my life to make that change, right? You didn't, right? You just kind of got educated and longingly saw. And so there's different motivations for everybody, but hopefully somebody like yourself can make a difference with those who need it. And I applaud you for it. It's the trait of a remarkable person. Thank you
Well,
so much for doing it.
thank you. Thank you. And you know what? You give yourself credit. You didn't have a major occurrence. You had a doctor who
That's
just
right.
told you the truth. That was it. She said words. She
Yeah.
said like 10 words, and then you thought about them and you thought, yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
And then you made change. You did all of that yourself. And so it's important that your audience knows that neither one of us who have made big changes, neither one of us are superheroes. Neither one of us have
No.
done something not everybody else can do. Everybody can get there, and it's 1% better every day. You didn't lose 100 pounds in one day. It takes a long time. As same for me, it's just progressive. And if you start working to get 1% better every day, right now, in 30 days, you wake up and you feel pretty darn good. 6 months from now, you don't recognize yourself. So I hope everybody knows that 100% they can get better, they can do better and be better, and they should.
Yeah, well said. Well said, Fitz. People watching and listening, they want to get in touch with you. What's the best way?
Oh, goodness. Well, Fitzness.com, Fitznes.com is my home base for everything. Get all the links there, etc. I'm Fitzness on YouTube, Fitzness on Instagram, Fitzness on Facebook. I love LinkedIn. And of course, the Fitzness Show podcast broadcasts everywhere. And, folks, if you want to follow, I promise quality content, but I'd much, much, much rather have friends than followers. So say hello, tell me you heard me on this podcast, and we can be besties.
You do a really good job with the podcast. You've got lots of energy, and yeah, you're really, really good at being you and delivering what you want, what you're intending. I thank you so much for your time. Next time up there in northern Florida, perhaps we'll get a cup of tea.
Love it. Love it.
Fitz, you
Thanks.
be well. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.